Okay. Okay, so here is the Dynamic Link ETH, right? So here I have the layout. Okay, now you go Tools, you go Express P-Cell Manager, and then here it shows up this PMOS, right? And I go Save Cache, Apply, okay. And now I go to, this is where I started my Virtuoso. And then if you see here, there's a .express P-cells. And I'm just going to create a new workspace just so that you understand how to do a new one, okay? So first, let's go to the schematic. Okay, now I go launch, Dynamic Link. Let's just do a new one. That's just the correct demo. And here, by default, I didn't say set up, the technology, right? So by default, I just leave it the way it is. Okay, then after that, I don't have anything except this is the ADS library I was talking about. Okay, so now we need to add in 2 libraries. Go to Add Library. So I need to go to the IT. This is my Cadence library, right? Okay. Now I need to add my PDK. So this same library is attached on the Cadence side. Okay, so right now I have a Cadence library and I have a ADS library. So right now at this point, see right now my P cells are not there, right? And let me go back to the here. So we're going to go to P express P cell. So it should be there now, right? And then I go back to, let me close this one. Now I go File, Place in the Workspace. Okay. Oh, sorry. Now you see the P cells there, right? And these letters are way too huge. I'm going to go modify that component. Let me go. Okay, and so I'm going to go make the pins smaller as well. So I go to here. Okay. Oh, you know what? Here's the read only. Remember this is the same layout, right? I didn't close my layout, so it wouldn't let me to save. So let me go back here. Let me close it. Okay, it takes my modification. All right, so once I get this, the next what I need to do is I need to work on this library, right? So this library, I need to let this guy reference GPDK. Okay, and I also have the thermal, right? So I go right click on this guy I go config library, and I would browse that to thermal. And it's right here. Okay, so okay, this step can be avoided if you place it properly. If you place the thermal folder right under this light, then you don't need to do this. It will automatically pick it up. Okay, now I need to have a new, you know what I do? I'm going to add one layer, right? So to add one layer, right now, what they suggest you to do is that do not go here, technology, and go to the layer definition and add one directly here, right? What they want you to do is that do it from the substrate. So let's go from here, and then I find a substrate file, this guy. And I'm going to right click to say paste and put it right under the demo layout. So once it's under the demo layout, I'm going to go open it up. And from here, I would say add a new layer. Okay, so this new layer, the layer name is fine, and I'll call it the heat bed. And so this one here, let me just make it conductor. All right, so then after that, let me save the file. And at this point, I have, let's see, I have that layer now, right? So I can go and create a new layout. Let me just call it EEsof ICF, like, coming from the Dynamic Link on the schematic side. Okay, so here you see this layer, right? And I'm going to insert, this is the cadence layout. There's no, press F. So you can see this is the cadence one, right? I can't touch that one, but then in this layer I can now, right? So let me do a layer here, okay? So I'm just going to make everything invisible, and then there's a poly here, right? I'm going to draw it right above here. So I set here, and then, oh, then see, start doesn't let me move because this guy always let me to, snap to the grid, and right now I want to snap to the vertex. All right, so now we just have the layer, that's it, right? Save it, and at this point, I don't want to do the heat source yet because I don't know what it is supposed to be yet at this point, right? So now let's close it. Oh, once again, one thing I want to do is about the pins, right? So right now we don't have the pins, so we can promote the pins from the bottom to the top. We go right click on it, we go component, and then we go promote instance pins. They copy pins from selected instance to this design. So now we have this guy. That's way too big, right? So I go options, preferences, and I will go, and then the other one should be as well. Okay. So by the way, this is fine too, right? If you want to fix this, it's a side talk, right? So you can go here, and then this default just change to something else. because right now I don't, for my PDK, I don't have the default directory. That's why it's errored out, right? You can change to any other layer, right? Okay, so let's save it. So this is ADS portion. Okay, now I need to, let's close this one. We don't need to use Cadence one. We'll just use the ADS library. Now I need a schematic. Okay, it's coding the same name. And now I need to go behind. Okay, and then you can go Dynamic Link, add the model. You need to bring in the model. So my model in this PDK here, model, etc. And I have a GPDK. And here the section is NN. Okay, now I'll show you a way to assign those pins, right? See here, I have differences from layout, okay? I don't need to do LVS, but I can take advantage of this guy. This guy can unplace the components. Here are all the ones inside the layout, right? And I can just grab this E. Okay, this B. And here's the G. I don't know why it would let me go to the layout. Okay, so that way I make sure their pins are all matched as well, right? All right. So now the last one I need to go is I need to go to the top level to run the eThermal scene, right? Let's just call it top. And this top, I'm going to grab this out, but I don't have a symbol. It will tell me, hey, you don't have one. Do you want one? I say yes. So do a quad. Okay. And to set up the simulation, don't want to bore you. I just go insert template. I get this idea test. Control R, and now I'm going to line up. Okay. So at this point, we should be able to run the simulation. All right. So after this, let me get rid of this guy here. And just with this central point here, right? I'm going to run trying to figure out the names, right? So use this underscore debug will. Okay. So after that, we can go to the ADS main window, and under the file view, there is a data directory. And so the data directory, there is a pval-dc.pval. You go right click on it, open in text editor. So you can see here, oh wow, here I have X1, I have both because on my top, this one is X1 as well, right? So just let you understand this one. If I change this one to 0, And then you see the one that below is called S1, right? Okay, now we can go up here. So you see this is the top level, right? S0.S1.PMOS, right? Now I explain to you how we do the name. Now we can go to the, let me go back to the top level and push it down. And to find this guy's equivalent layout, you can use the top key like a Shift Control L, right? See, this is the schematic. If you go back, no, this is layout. If you want to go to this guy's schematic, you can go to Shift Control S, right? That means schematic. So Shift Control L, go back to here. And then we're going to go here. We go show, use the layers. So we actually only use this layers, right? This feature Cadence had, and then you have it right now as well. And so for here, I'm going to just get rid of this guy, and I'm going to put a 40, and now I'm going to insert a text. And so this text is kind of huge. Let me use the middle mouse key to zoom out a little bit, right? So let's call it x1 dot pm0 dot called pmos1. All right. So we want to make this one smaller, right? So double click on it. Under the properties, you can change the size of it. Let's make it 1. Let's make it, yeah, good enough, right? So save it. I'm going to show everything. Okay, now that we have the source name now, we can go back to the top level. All right, so now we can run the eThermal, right? I do this, and then now I need to deactivate this one. So here's my running, right? And it's very hot, right? Did you see that? 155, those kind of thing, right? And then the delta gets smaller and smaller. So this is very hot, right? 146. So what I need to do is that I go back here, right? Let's zoom out a little bit and then just go to the metal one and add 2 pieces of metal. So let's go back to the top. Yeah, it's much less hot, all right? So that's it. That's all about this flow.